Hey folks, it's Dave Lentz. Welcome to ReasonandBalance.com. I debated putting this type of page on the website, but I said, oh, what the heck. Sort of take a stab at it to see what happens. I think I'm going to make it a health and fitness type of page. And one of the reasons for that is that today, this is March the 16th, uh, 2017, and last year, uh, I decided that I was going to try to run in a marathon, and I lost. At the time I started, I went on a diet. I started out, I was about 265 pounds, and I got down to 199, and that was about 4 months before the event. And I hurt my hamstring, and I had done the dieting portion first. I had gotten up to the point where I was running about 20 miles a week or something like that. But I have had chronic hamstring problems for a number of years. When I was younger in the 80s, I finished a couple of marathons. I'm 62 now. Will be 63 in July. But uh, it's been quite a journey. I mean, because I'd gotten up at one point a couple of years ago to about 284 pounds. And so last year I successfully lost close to about 65 pounds in the course of about I don't know, it was July the 22nd through, I think I hit 199 pounds on December 1st. So however many, it's August, September, October, November, 4 months, about 4.5 months. I lost. At that time, I'd gone from 265 down to 199. So I guess that's 66 pounds over 4.5 months. Uh, and so I thought I might, share with you how I did that. Um, I think number one, I always believe that you have to do what works for you. I think that you can read a lot of stuff out there and follow a lot of really well-intended and good advice. I'm not putting it down or denigrating it, but ultimately you have to do something that's going to work for you. So you know, I believe that very much. So anything that is said, it's good to have a role model or something to follow, but I think you have to do what works for you. I think that doing losing that kind of weight, I think involves basically, of course, it involves discipline, but on a certain level, it involves a lifestyle change and changing a lot of habits. At one time in my life, I guess I probably spent too much time, maybe, out chasing women or smoking, drinking, and things like that. I think all those kind of things go without saying that you can't really do a lot of that kind of stuff and lead a very healthy lifestyle. So you got to put yourself in a position in terms of your lifestyle choices of not tempting yourself to make mistakes. Um, I would also say this, that there is no question. For me personally, I cannot diet unless I do moderate exercise. I think that moderate exercise relieves a lot of stress. And if it's moderate exercise, that I think it eliminates a lot of hunger pangs. Okay, so I'll get down to specifics. What did I do? And why am I doing it now? Why am I making this video? Well, it's March the 16th. I had determined last year that even though I got injured and I couldn't make the marathon that I was training for, that I wanted to do it this year instead. Well, lo and behold, last summer I really developed some neck and back issues and some sciatica issues, and I couldn't train, and so my weight ballooned up again. I got up to about 255 pounds. No, not quite that. Probably about somewhere between 245 and 250 by the middle part of September. And but finally I seemed to get through my back and neck problems, and so I decided I would start training again. But I was 200, somewhere between 245 and 250, so I had to start doing it all over again. Besides that, my sciatica issues, even though they had sort of gone, I could tell when I tried to run an exercise that, I never seemed to be very far away from re-aggravating that. And or my that's in my left leg. In my right leg, I have chronic hamstring problems, always have. So I'm always afraid of re-injuring it. Well, anyway, enough of the excuse making. So, but I decided I was going to train for this marathon, which is in May. Okay, and so we are, as we speak right now, we are 6.5 weeks away from that marathon. And uh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So let me backtrack. So around, let's see, I got to the point where I started out of my diet. I had made the determination that if I was going to finish the marathon, I probably had to be under 205 pounds. So I went back on my diet again. Well, what did my diet consist of? Now, let me say this. I had made the determination to begin with that I was going to lose the weight first before I put in serious mileage. Let me make a very strong point. I firmly believe that you cannot, especially if you're over 30 years old, arguably an arbitrary number on my part, but this is based a little bit on my experience. If you're over 30 years old, you cannot outwork or outrun a bad diet. If you have a bad diet, you might even gain weight even if your mileage is going up. That's one thing. You cannot out exercise a bad diet and lose weight. It's just that's been my experience. You just can't do it. You have to have a good diet. I think a lot of these exercise fads and these DVDs that you see on TV, even though they purport to be selling you an exercise plan, what they're really selling you is a diet. Because it's the diet. I've always found that it's the diet part that is more effective and important in terms of the losing the weight. Now, that does not denigrate the exercise part, because I cannot get on into a good diet routine unless I'm exercising. But to me, if you want to lose weight, it's moderate exercise, and a good diet and a lifestyle change. All three go hand in hand. Now, let me tell you how I one of the modifications I did to make it work for me. They will always tell you you need a good breakfast. You need a good breakfast. What I found is I'm not very hungry in the morning. Now I know they say you need a good breakfast and all that kind of stuff, but I found that I didn't need a breakfast in the morning. That if I was going to flunk and fall off the wagon on my diet and cheat, it was going to be in the evening when I was watching TV. Okay, after my workout routine or whatever. So I made the choice that I would violate one of the cardinal rules that I always hear all the time, but it just didn't seem to work for me, so I didn't use it. I skipped breakfast, and my meal of the day would literally be, at night probably. I would come home from work, I would have one meal, and then, probably about 8:30 or 9, I get up about 5 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 or 9. I would pretty much allow myself a meal, another meal, my second meal. And let me just say this, my diet has rules of exclusion: no ice cream, no donuts, no pizza, absolutely no fried food, and absolutely nothing with lots of butter, or mayonnaise and butter to be avoided. Um, Fried food. Oh, French fries, absolutely. No French fries for sure. No fried chicken. No fried. That's just it. But I have a sweet spot for pastries and donuts and ice cream. I love them, and if I start eating them, I can't stop, and all that kind of stuff. So none of that stuff. And I managed to stay off that stuff for 5 months. All right. That's hard to do, but it does help to exercise. Now, what I would do would be green leafy salads with no salad dressing, or very minor amounts of vinegar oil with, 3 or 4 chunks of some sort of fruit in it, maybe some like a bean salad that's just has vinegar and oil on it. Maybe some cucumbers with vinegar and oil with some onion. I love a little bit of fresh pineapple, blueberries. But those just 1 teaspoonful each, because there's a lot of calories in fruit. You can't really go whole hog on the fruit. But to me, the real secret is, I found, is sliced turkey breast uh, and sardines. Uh, a lot of people can't stand them, but they're high in omega 3s. Um, and so therefore they're good for your heart and maybe good to prevent dementia and stuff like that. But to me, my secret weapon was grape tomatoes. And the reason I like grape tomatoes, especially while I was watching TV, I would use that instead of eating chips. But sliced turkey breast and grape tomatoes and sardines and a green leafy, virtually no salad dressing, spinach salad. Kale, of course, is great. But don't fool yourself into thinking you can put salad dressing on things, because that's killer. Most of that stuff, even the light stuff, is full of fat. You're killing yourself. I mean, you're killing your diet, is what I'm saying. But in any event, so that's sort of what I did, and it worked. So now, in terms of what's happening right now, I've gotten my mileage up to last week. And which is it was, well, I guess 7 or 8. This is going to be so 7 weeks out from the marathon. I was at 30 miles a week, which probably isn't enough, running 30 miles a week. And after my workout, not during the run, I had run 8 miles, and I finished my run for the day. I run 6 days a week. I'll get more into the run routine later. I tweaked my hamstring again. This was after the workout, so that's very, very aggravating. So I have stayed off I haven't run for like 3 days, and I'm hoping that it's healed. We'll see. The marathon in question is on May the 7th. I'm very concerned. Let me tell you, right now, I would expect that there's no way in God's green earth I'm going to be able to finish the marathon, if I'm able to finish it at all in under 5 hours and say 25 minutes. I'm thinking anywhere like a 12-minute and 40-second per mile. You do the math. They close the course in 6 hours, so you've got 6 hours to do the marathon. So I'm very worried that I'll be able to finish it in time. Uh, and my my weight has crept up. I think I'm right around 212, 213 right now, which is too heavy. And the reason that happened was, um, after I got down to the 199, I was, running about 18 miles a week, and I thought that I could just eat what I wanted, got off the diet, but I was just going to focus on getting my mileage up. And my mileage did get it. It went from 18 miles a week to 30 miles a week. So it went up. And I didn't get on the scale, and I didn't worry about it, because I thought the increase in my mileage would take care of any potential weight problem. Because I've never had a situation where I was adding miles and putting on as much weight as I put on in the last month and a half, last 6 weeks. So, your body and your physiology changes as you get older. And it goes to my adage that you cannot outwork a bad diet. So I have to get off the ice cream and the donuts, and now I'm sort of, I'm a little bit concerned that I'm too heavy again. I know I'm making a bunch of excuses, but I'm just telling you what the doubts are in my mind. But I'm going to continue to train, and I'm going to hope to go out there and run tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm scheduled for an 8-mile run. Well, it's not. I think it's an 8 mile run. I don't know because see, I only run time. I don't run mileage. I think it'll be about 8 miles. Um, in any event, so that's where we are. I hope I haven't made this too confusing. So that's where we are. We've got we're 6 weeks and a few days away from the marathon. I basically have somehow got to put in 6 weeks here, and I need to get my mileage up probably for a couple of weeks over 42 or 43 miles a week. And even that to me is not quite enough. My general rule of thumb in the old days when I actually did a few marathons was you've got to do at least 50 miles a week, twice as long as the marathon in a week, and do that for 6 weeks to be comfortable in doing the marathon. I'm not going to get anywhere near that. And I'm a lot slower. Back in those days, I was running 8-minute miles. But uh, in any event, it keeps me motivated. I know that it's sort of a long shot, but it keeps me motivated. And so I'm putting this on the site, I guess, to basically give some, I don't know, a different twist on things. Well, we'll see how it is, and I'll see you. Thanks for visiting, and I'll keep you up to date. Thanks. This is Dave Lentz.